If you're experiencing shame or guilt, you're experiencing a form of hellishness. And in that hellishness, you are not going to find any kind of serendipity at all. You're going to be finding the lack thereof, in fact. And there's going to be no equanimity in your soul if you are believing in this guilt or shame. Now, it's not to say that guilt or shame are not useful emotions because, well, it helps you straighten yourself out. It's much like the fear of God. It straightens you out. It's not necessarily that you fear God himself insofar as it's a tyrannical figure. It's more like you are understanding that the proclivity that you have to revere God, the more you have that proclivity, the more you potentially maximize the positive emotions that you have in your life, and the more that you minimize any kind of negative emotions, because you're moving away from sin. At the end of the day, you're moving away from sin. And so the more that you move away from sin, the more that you are moving toward a more proper state of being and in a reasonable state of being. And so with that being said, I have a segment from my book here that I want to read to you. Some people are not bad people. Some people are simply unstable. And anyone who is unstable in spirit cannot be armed in spirit. To be armed in spirit means to be following the righteous path, however you need to, so that you grow closer to the God in a stabilized fashion. The forces of darkness may yearn for uncertain instability among the people, but those who know we cannot interfere with chaos through chaos also know retributive justice will be given by the God through reasonable order. You're about to be blessed in ways that you can't even see yet by God himself. And the reason being is because if you're following the righteous path, you might be even blessed right now, but you might not even realize it. Because time is an illusion. Okay, time doesn't really exist. And the only time that the ego can really see a sense of meaning to life is when it looks at the past in shame or doubt or all these other negative emotions. And it's only when we look to the future, when we have a vision toward the future, that for some reason we just start to feel more natural, more at peace. And when we look back, it's like we become these sterile figures of ourselves. We're not even vibrant. We're not virile as men, and women are not warm. In fact, when we look back, it's just like this. We become stone. We become stone-hearted and stone-minded, and there's really no flexibility in our souls and our spirits. And so I think that one of the main issues that people have when it comes to seeing their own blessings is just appreciating what they do have. Because learning how to appreciate, rather, is going to be the most important aspect of your life. If you can learn to appreciate everything that you have already, God is going to give you more of it. But it's not like you should expect it either. It's not that you need to expect that God's going to give you these things. It's not that you need to expect that God is going to offer you these things. It's that you are simply adhering to the ability of which you can appreciate that which God has given unto you. Because that's reasonable order, as I described in my book here, the Book of Oldishness. And, my channel, this channel, Regal Change, the Regal Change Academy, this book, it's more of a book that is described and prescribed, because it's going to give an antidote, but it's only going to be an antidote for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. And it's going to be for those that actually want to look at the depths of their soul and to maybe conquer lust, or to alchemize their spirituality, learn about their shadow, learn about these Jungian archetypes that are so deeply involved with our being, and there's just so many things out there right now where we are constantly bombarded with these distractions, and we're leaping from this form of hellishness to that form of hellishness, and then we're like wandering on a river when we could just start to flow down the river. We're trying to jump from rock to rock, thinking that trying to get across the river is the place to go, but actually the river of life is where we're supposed to be. We're meant to flow. We're not really meant to design life like it were a building or like it were a construction site or anything like that. It's not meant to be like that. Now, you could do that, but is it going to be reasonably order? Is it going to be a form of reasonable order, rather? I don't know. And, this is something we've been talking about in the Whispers of a Philosophy King class in the Regal Change Academy, is how Socrates, he's very much a logical being, very much so, but he's always asking questions. And he does that because he wants to actually understand. Okay, he wants to understand why things are the way that they are. That's a form of reasonable order. Okay, just simply by asking questions, because the level of your questions, and the perception of your question as well, is going to be a direct correlation with the quality of your life sometimes. In fact, most times. I don't think that there would be a reason where if you ask good questions, you're going to get a low life. Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be possible. In fact, the better questions that you ask, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to see beyond what is actually just in front of you. Because the thing is like, a lot of people don't know how to ask the right questions. And that's one of the other reasons why if they could, they would be blessed now. They would be. And it's not like, sometimes your blessings, though, aren't going to be blessings that you think that they are. Like maybe your blessings is actually like, an affordable place to live. And maybe you want to be in a bigger place, but there's a smaller place for you that, well, you're going to be able to save money and whatnot. And yeah, it's going to be kind of a cramp or whatnot, but you're going to be able to save money, or you're going to be able to pay off debt or invest in other things, whatever the case may be. And you're going to have these other opportunities for you that God wants for you. But you might be too stingy in your mindset, too stiff-necked to believe that this is actually a blessing. Now, this is just an example because I was in a studio apartment for 2 years, and golly, man, a shack might have been an upgrade to some degree. And it was so small. It was just kind of, I felt so pathetic living in a place like that. But you know what? It was only because I was worried about what other people would see or view of me living in a place like that. And it wasn't because I didn't enjoy it. I actually didn't mind living in a small place. And even this place that I live in right now, it's a 1-bedroom, and it's not really an apartment, but it's not really a house either. It's in a quadplex. And so I have 1 bedroom and 1 bath, and then this is the room. Fairly small, but it's very affordable. And, I've got everything that I need. I've got a bus system here in case anything happens, to where I don't really need a vehicle unless I want it and I want to go other places, and I do want to go other places. But I don't really need a vehicle per se. Like, there's a free bus system that we pay with the taxes here in the city. So we have other amenities. And if I really wanted to, I could have, and I could keep that vehicle or whatnot, like whatever the case is, right? I have everything that I need for me within like a 3-mile radius of my place. I have everything that I need. And that's a blessing. That really is a blessing. And maybe there are other things in my life that I would wish that maybe were different, or that I would want things to be different. And I've been working to be different, but it's taking a lot of effort to do so. But I'm still very grateful for what I do have. I'm still very grateful and appreciative to God to what He has given me. I may have lost and feel like I've lost everything except for my integrity and my connection to God. But that doesn't mean that there are still other things that I have. I'm not in oblivion. And sometimes the ego wants us to, because you need a healthy ego, number one, okay? When I talk about the ego, I don't really mean this like evil thing, okay? Having an ego is very healthy, I would say. In fact, the more healthy your ego, the better your boundaries, the better your relationships, and the less crap you tolerate and the less disrespect you tolerate from other people. Because to tolerate is just kind of nasty. I think to tolerate people or things is just, it's kind of an insult to your own being at the end of the day. So, with all that being said, I think that having this form of love and compassion for yourself, while also recognizing that you don't need to live life so concretely. You can be spontaneous, healthily. You can be spontaneous in a way that's going to allow you some room to grow. And you don't have to plan everything out like a building or something all the time, right? You don't need to be in construction all the time. Even though the people outside are always in the freaking construction. I don't know if you guys can hear some of that, but it's like, I swear, the last like 5 to 10 videos that I've made, it's been quiet as a mouse, like nothing going on. And then as soon as I freaking get going, they're starting with the construction. It's so freaking annoying. And it's not like they know. Maybe, I don't know how they would know. It's not like they would know that I'm making these videos at this time, but it's freaking annoying. And but anyway, yeah, like these people are doing construction and they're not even doing anything, right? They're not even I went out to check, like, what are they even accomplishing? They've got all this noise going on and they're just moving dirt around. That's all they're doing. They're just moving dirt. And then they've been building this roof on the house next door. They've been building this roof. It's not even like they're building the roof. They're just replacing what are they called? The shingles. They're just replacing the shingles. And it's taking them like frickin' 3 months. I don't understand. And they're making all these sounds all the time. It's so annoying, man. It's so freaking annoying. But anyways, I am grateful though that I can still have my peace. Even though I can be annoyed, I still have my peace. And that's, again, what you need to focus on. Because the thing is like, the whole world is going to try to annoy you sometimes. It feels like that. Sometimes the whole world is going to try to annoy you. Sometimes the whole world is going to try to take your blessings and rob you from your blessings. But if you can just be grateful to God that you are where you are, you have what you have, and you can recognize that time, get off the merry-go-round of time. Okay? That's becoming a platitude for my channel. Get off the merry-go-round of time. Because once you get off the merry-go-round of time, it's like, have you ever been to one of those amusement parks where you're in the ride and then there's these like jump scares and such? Like those kinds of things, you can just get off the ride, man. Like you can just get off. You don't need to stay on that ride. You can get on another ride, or you can just go walk around somewhere in the jungle or whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. Life is a beautiful, high-tech Xbox game that when you are competent enough and you have the certain skills enough to do something, you can build whatever you need to. You can do whatever you need to at any time. And that's beautiful. That's amazing. That's like who we're meant to be to some degree, is to just be able to live our own lives on our own terms. We're supposed to be sovereign. But many of us are dependent on certain things or systems and whatnot. But that's a topic for another time. I hope that everybody has a blessed rest of your day. I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Be grateful. Maybe write down in the comments if you made it this far in the video. Number one, if you've made it this far in the video, definitely check out the Regal Change Academy or consider scheduling a one-on-one with me. And number two is put something down in the comments that you're grateful for, that just maybe you wouldn't even think about it. What's something that you are seeing as a blessing that you don't even realize it's a blessing until you kind of think about it? It's something to consider. I hope everybody stays blessed. Peace. Until next time.